Those close to Tucker Carlson claim that he is planning to go to war with Fox News. At least that's the latest scoop reported by Axios. So this source close to Tucker Carlson revealed a little more on what that might be. So this anonymous source says, quote, Tucker Carlson knows where a lot of bodies are buried and is ready to start drawing a map. Now, at the heart of this dispute is the fact that Tucker Carlson is still locked into an exclusive contract with Fox, even though Fox has fired Tucker Carlson. What that means is that he is unable to start his own media venture or work for a different media company until 2025. And that's obviously not good for his career. He wants to go out there and start whatever he wants to start ASAP, at least according to what Axios is reporting here. For instance, according to Axios, Carlson is busy plotting a media empire of his own. Carlson confidants say he is contemplating building a direct-to-consumer media outlet where his millions of fans could pay to watch him. And that's interesting. I'm curious what you think about that as the person who founded TYT, as a media entrepreneur, if you will. What are your thoughts on that, Uygur?
So if I was him, I'd be careful about that, because if you're gonna start your own enterprise, that's a significant business undertaking. It's not just you show up and read off the prompter for an hour a day, right? You got to run the business end of it, and then you got to take some risks. You have to spend some money. You might have to get investors. It becomes complicated real quick. And he ran a digital Daily Caller.
The Daily Caller, he started it, yep.
Right, and so maybe he has some experience there, but that's a much harder thing than going to another outlet. Apparently Newsmax and Rumble are offering more than $20 million a year now to him to get him to switch. For a pampered Swanson heir, I think just taking the 21 million, 25 million is the much easier way to go. But who knows? Maybe he thinks he's going to build an empire that's even larger. But and my opinion is kind of mixed one here, because I think Fox News just strategically, from a business perspective, screwed up by firing Tucker Carlson. They didn't realize how much it was going to damage their ratings, and it really, really cut into their audience.
Although there is an update to that, because while you are correct in noting that the audience for that particular time slot where he would do a show has dipped considerably, there were 40 advertisers that had pulled support from Fox because of Tucker Carlson's antics. They have now all come back.
Yeah, for sure, and that's going to happen too. It's just a matter of whether they could hold the ratings, because they get more from the subscriber fees than they get from advertising. So they really need the audience to stay loyal. Okay, but having said that, my point is, when Bill O'Reilly left, Fox News could survive it, and Bill O'Reilly, when he tried to do his own digital business, Axios said he's a model for it. No, he's not. It was a terrible failure. He couldn't do it at all because he was a bumbling old man who didn't know how to get people to subscribe in a digital age, etc. Didn't know how to promote himself, didn't know how to build a business. I think Tucker is in a better position, probably more savvy. It's a different time. So if he really wanted to roll up his sleeves and turn on the business end, he probably could pull it off, but I don't know that he'd want to. And so we'll see. But the most important thing is, I don't give a goddamn what he does in business. I'm just worried that he's gonna run for office. So take any contract you like, just don't run for office, don't get involved in that stuff. If you come in back into media, let's rumble, if you will, okay? Then we could fight you on the battlefield of ideas. And as I showed in the debate when he and I debated in Politicon, it's not that hard to beat Tucker Carlson one-on-one. It's just that, MSNBC, etc., they can't do it because they're too soft.
Now, Tucker has hired a pretty high-profile lawyer by the name of Brian Friedman, who gave a quote to Axios and said, "The idea that anyone is going to silence Tucker and prevent him from speaking to his audience is beyond preposterous." And in addition to that, a friend of Tucker's also thinks that Carlson is ready to go to war with Fox. They're coming to him and saying, "Do you want me to hit Fox?" He's been saying, "No, I want to get this done quiet and clean." Now we're going from peacetime to DEFCON 1. His team is preparing for war. He wants his freedom.
So So listen, there's two more things about this. Number one, the media companies do this fairly regularly. MSNBC, back under previous management, did this to Ashley Banfield when she was speaking out against the Iraq war. She did it once at a speech, and she was absolutely right. Not only did they not allow her to go back on air, took her show away, but they actually wouldn't let her out of her contract because they didn't want her saying anti-war things on any other network, because at that point, a defense contractor, GE, owned MSNBC. So it was against their business interest to let her out of her contract. I wrote all about that in my book, Justice is Coming. You could pre-order if you want, in a link in the description box. But as it relates to Fox News, they don't want to let Tucker out of his contract. Forget the $20 million. I mean, they already lost nearly $800 million to Dominion, partly because of what Tucker was saying. They're not worried about the $20 million. They're worried much more about Tucker setting up a competitor or helping a competitor, which can cost him $200 million or $2 billion, right? So they're definitely not going to let him out of his contract. That's why Tucker's preparing for war, because the only way that he can get Fox to let him out of his contract is if he causes enough pain publicly to them where they go, oh, screw it, we'll just compete with you, rather than you killing us in the press and then competing with us. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.